if I told you that faith and sound could bring down the mightiest walls? In the ancient city of Jericho, the Israelites faced an...
Wait a second. When he says Israelites, he's talking about the original Israelites, not the ones now. They don't blow horns. They just blow kids up. But that's a different conversation.
...impenetrable fortress. God commanded them to march around the city for 6 days in silence, followed by a loud blast of trumpets on the 7th day.
We load in silence, and then we bring out the trumpets. Make sense?
As the trumpets sounded and the people shouted, the walls of Jericho crumbled to the ground. This miraculous event showed the power of obedience and faith in God's...
Obedience and faith, keep it in mind.
What walls do you need to bring down in your life?
Okay, so the reason why this is so significant is because, well, let me just get to the bottom of it. The reason why I started the walls of Jericho and the trumpets playing upon the mountaintops is because it makes sense. I mean, I guess when I was trading a stock, there was a massive wall on the ask, and I thought in my mind, wall of Jericho, because I think biblically, it's just how I'm inclined. Everything that goes through the mind is biblical over here. But I think walls of Jericho, that thing's got to come down. What are we going to do? We're going to blow trumpets. So I started a movement. I need everybody to get a trumpet. I got a bugle on the way, get a shofar, get a, Viking horn, whatever is relative to your heritage. And we're going to bring the walls down. Now, the reason why I wanted to tell you about obedience and faith and why that makes sense for my message today. And by the way, my message is don't oversize. So I see a lot of people talking on Twitter, especially about having faith in the stock. Now, most of the time, that's going to be blind faith. You're just hoping that it goes back up because you're bag boy Belinsky. You want to avoid blind faith, but you want to have real faith. Faith that could move a mountain with the faith of the size of a mustard seed, whatever that verse is. See, I'm preaching now. I'm preaching. Don't get me started. But if you want to have faith, real faith, you have to be obedient to your own rules. And what do I mean by that? I mean, you have to be confident in your trades. You're never going to be confident in your trades if you're oversized. You're going to make emotional decisions and everything's going to go wrong. Okay, so you obey your rules, which is don't oversize whatever's relative to your portfolio. If it's 100, if you have 100,000, you shouldn't probably be betting more than 10 grand on any play. If you have 500 grand, maybe you could go 50, 100K. At least that's one of my rules. Whenever I tended to get way up in cash and have a shit ton of money, I would start betting bigger, going crazy, and wreck myself. So have a rule. Be obedient to it, and I promise you, you'll be able to have faith in your choice because you're not emotional, you're confident, you're not scared. Like, I'm not oversized in ALPS. That's the stock that we're going to be talking about today, the only stock that matters. I'm not oversized. Why? Because I probably would have bought more, but the problem was I could only buy in 500 share lots. So I'm thinking, okay, well, when I go to sell this, if I have 20,000 shares, 25,000 shares, what if I get caught on the downside? What if I get caught with my pants down? How am I going to sell 25,000 shares in 500 share lots if the price is tanking? I'd be fricked. Okay, so it's all, you have to analyze stuff like that. You can't just go in with blind faith. So for me, 4,000 shares was enough. I know it's not a lot and I'm kind of pissed. But again, with that situation going on, there's nothing I can do about it. I just have to, I can't go outside my rules. Because why? If I wasn't obedient to my rules, then I would be sitting here all over the boards. What's going to happen? Oh my God, is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? Will I have time to sell? You're not confident. You're emotional. Okay, you want to wake up in the morning and be ready for the day. You don't want to be in a state of panic. If you're panicking in the market, that's a bad thing. Okay, the way you're going to panic is if you're oversized. Period. End of story. Some people go crazy and that's fine. But for me and longevity, I need to be, I can't lose all my money. Or I'm at Mickey D's. Okay. So there will be no trumpets on that day. So that's my opener. Now it's just going to be brief today, guys, because you only need to know, remember, we don't need to talk about the DD. I don't know what this company is. I don't know. It's a Chinese D-SPAC. They tend to run. That's the amount of my DD. I know it's a small float, okay? I know it's a small float, that's it. I know that there's interest in it, though, and that's kind of really what matters. And I know that the chart is looking special. It came down, I think, on like, hold on, let me make myself smaller. Okay, so TradingView doesn't, I can't figure out how to get after hours on it. I always just use my Webull account anyway for charts. Like, it's not like I'm switching from TradingView into Webull. Like, that doesn't make any sense. The chart's fine on Webull, especially when it's live action. Like, I really like it. You throw in your indicators. It's right there. You're ready to trade. It's fine with me. But look, so this is pretty standard. Let me make sure you can see this. You should be able to, but let me make myself really small. You should be able to see this. So, okay, I also know that this company, ALPS, I guess was on the OTC and they uplisted to NASDAQ. That's why, like, this is kind of deceiving. It's not like they came out with an offering, whatever. I don't really know how this works. I really don't. I don't know why the chart looks like this. It's fine. Someone can explain it to me. It doesn't matter to me. All I know is this part of the chart. Okay? And this does matter. I'll tell you in a second. But look, you got a flush. You got everybody shook. I don't know what's going on or what's going on. Then you get this massive engulfing green candle closing right near the high of the day. Now, where was the high of the day? Right basically at, it pushed above it a little bit. But these charts, when they're down here, tend to do this, and they rise back to this line. Now, if you beat that line, you got a huge gap all the way up to like 1150. Okay, we're currently at 337. If you feel like you've missed the boat, you haven't. Now, it's another thing that please let me know in the comments. Somebody said that with this type of situation, there's no overnight trading tomorrow. I hope that there isn't, because I am going to be slapping the ass and bidding like crazy first thing in the morning. Like, I don't want this to open at 4, because then I can't really, I'm not going to like chase that. Not that I don't think it's going higher, but you know, you have to stick with your original shares at that point. So for me, I'm hoping it opens, I'm hoping it opens where it left off, 337. I'm hoping that on the next 4 hour, we get a wick down to like 3, and I will load the boats, and then we get the blast off. Is that going to happen? I'm not sure. Sometimes they do that. They try and shake you in the first 5 minutes and then send it. I can't tell you how many times that I was overloaded, I was oversized, okay, and it dumped, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to lose everything, and I sell the bottom, and then they blast it. And I'm like, if I would have just held like if I would have had half size and been ready for this, I would have been loading instead of selling. I would have been blowing the trumpet instead of panicking. Okay, so again, that's very important. I can't explain it enough. So we get over, let's say it's pushing 4. Do not sell 4, in my opinion. I would not sell 4. You got a massive gap. You got a lot of interest. You got a lot of names on this. I don't think the names in this are selling for. Usually when you get a big pump over the weekend, people are just looking for quick money at 1 a.m. Pacific. But I don't know about this one. Because if it does get that God candle in the morning, we're looking at $10 at least. These things can go nuts. Now look, I've said this in previous videos. Never count your chickens before they hatch, and that's very important. Have a plan, but don't make the plan like reality in your head, because a lot of people will start adding numbers up. All right, if it gets to 10, I make this much. If it gets to 12, I make this much. Then it's getting resistance at 6, and they're like, but I gotta make that much. And then it just tanks. And then they're like, wow, I'm back to break even, and I was just up this much. I said it on my Twitter. It's not about what you miss, the money you miss. It's the money you don't lose. That's the importance. If you're locking in gains at 6 and it does go to 10, what are you going to do? Cry about it? It doesn't matter. You made money. You move on. There will be another stock in the next 15 minutes. Just go into a Discord. I'm sure you'll find one. Okay, so, but do I have utmost faith in this to go absolutely apeshit? Yes. Will I sell early? Most likely. Will I be pissed in the middle of the day when it's lunchtime and it's at like $90? Yeah. But that's not my strategy. Obedience to your strategy, and you'll have faith in your trades, guys. Absolute smoking words of wisdom. I am Solomon.